Hello YouTube, Lyricise17 here, but you can just call me Travis, and welcome back to another collection update. It is the 29th, so Halloween is creeping up on us. Hopefully you guys all have a good Halloween. I'm not going to be doing much, just going to be sitting around the house doing something, hoping people come by and trick-or-treat, which no one usually does. Never really lived anywhere where people actually came trick-or-treated to my home. Kind of disappointing, because I always have candy and we just end up eating it all, which I guess isn't super negative, but certainly is the intention of buying it. Anyway, enough rambling about that. Again, hope everyone has a great Halloween. Yeah. Alright, let's jump into the music. I got quite a few to show you. In the background, we are listening to the soundtrack to Suspiria. One of my favorite horror movies. Mine came in this 3-disc edition of the DVD. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and this quite possibly could be my favorite soundtrack. There's just something pretty unique and unnerving about it that really just fits well with the movie and really, I think, impacts the movie in a really positive way. Done by Goblin, Italian progressive rock band, I guess you would call them, maybe. Worked with Dario Argento, who directed Suspiria, on a couple other movies, I think two. Most notably, I think they did some of the music, if not all of it, for Profondo Rosso, Deep Red, and yeah, there's a couple other that I'm blanking on right now. But anyway, Goblin definitely worked with Dario Argento at least a few times, and I think their soundtrack for this movie is a masterpiece. So enjoying the background. I felt like it was kind of necessary to start playing some cool horror soundtracks as Halloween again crept up on us. But again, I'm babbling again, so let's move on to the music. First off, like I've been showing off my patches when I'm getting the new ones in, and I really wanted this Axxion patch. Axxion is an awesome new wave of traditional heavy metal band out of Canada. Their debut album, Wild Racer, one of my all-time favorite albums. Just sick riffs, sick solos, and sick vocals. Awesome rhythm section. Just killer stuff. So yeah, I definitely wanted to get an Axxion patch, and I didn't want to order just a patch. So the only other thing that they had in the store that I didn't have already was the Headbangers single cassette tape. Both these songs ended up on their second full-length album, Back in Time, which I also liked. Not quite as much as Wild Racer, but I still did like it quite a bit. This has Headbangers on side A, and All Bark, No Bite on the B side on this black tape. These songs are, pretty solid songs. Again, with your act, you're gonna get your riffs, you're gonna get your solos, and you're gonna get some energetic vocals from Dirty D. Kerr. Here's the other side of the J card. I like this. This special thanks to JDK for the excellent backups on Headbangers. And Headbangers Open Air for the inspiration to write the track, or this might have been called Bumblebee Boogie, which I'm not sure if I'm sure that's sort of a joke, but would have been kind of interesting to have an action song called Bumblebee Boogie. They should do it anyway. But anyway, yeah, nothing too crazy to talk about here. I already knew these songs. Like I said, they were on the full length Back in Time. Kind of notably, they sandwich the song Ride Through Hell, which is the super shreddiest song from Back in Time. Probably easily my favorite. But yeah, it was cool to pick up this Headbangers single cassette. It was the only format it was on this cassette, so I was able to pull it off in my brain. Self-released by the band, so that's pretty cool too. But so yeah, again, awesome patch. My wife's starting to really press me on when am I going to get the vest? When are you going to get the vest? And I probably should do that soon. So anyway, yeah, Axxion, great band. If you have not checked them out, definitely check out their album, Wild Racer. Definitely worth your time. Good stuff. All right, next up, a couple more cassettes. Really happy to pick these up. I was actually pretty pumped to even come across them. I didn't really think they were something that they were, I wouldn't say readily available, but was, you know, there were copies available at all to purchase. And I guess I could have looked up Discogs. They're probably on there too, but I didn't really take the time to do that. But anyway, I was surfing the Amor Fati distro. I can't remember what compelled me to go there. But anyway, I was on there, and I came across this band, and I was like, oh shit, I want these releases, and so I ordered them. And they came pretty fast, which was pretty cool, because I kind of noticed they had a little note saying they weren't going to be sending stuff out to the end of October, but they sent my stuff out like really immediately, and it came really fast. So thanks to Amor Fati Productions, I definitely ordered something else. Sacker's Cult, their debut album, I ordered from them. Anyway, enough rambling. The artist is it's Bašmu, some cool black metal out of Canada. The only other release I had by this artist, one-man band, was a compilation that was released earlier this year that had the two EPs from 2016 on it. I picked that up. That was actually the first cassette that I ever bought, if I didn't already say that. Through Bandcamp, so it was cool to get the digital tracks with it along the way. But anyway, I really liked that release. I thought it was cool. It really made me, you know, harken to kind of like Xasthur style stuff, which is for me a really kind of, obviously it's within the genre of kind of a third wave black metal, I guess you want to say. But it's Xasthur are kind of their own little style, and I really felt that this artist did a really good job of maybe not emulating it, but you know, making me think of Xasthur, which I really appreciate, as they are one of my favorite black metal bands and just bands in general of all time. Really, really like Xasthur. Anyway, around the time that I was sort of still talking myself out of buying cassettes, he released this one, which is VVitchblood, and I really almost bought it anyway, and I also noticed that there was a few copies left of this one, which was Black Sorcery from Within Arcane Caverns, both on Bandcamp. I really, several times over a couple days, I had both our releases in my cart, and for whatever reason, because I was still talking myself out of buying cassettes, I didn't buy them, and then shortly days later they were all gone, and I kicked myself several times for not pulling the trigger. Anyway, was jacked to find these on Amor Fati. So yeah, like I said, ordered them quickly and got them quickly, and really, really dug them. So let's talk about them. All right, first up, let's talk about Black Sorcery from Within Arcane Caverns. This is the one that came out earlier in this year. The first full length, I guess you would say. I think it was January, April. I can't remember which day it was. It was one of those 2 months that it was released. 2 tracks, one on the A side, one on the B side. The A side, the Nocturnal Fires of Humbanda and its Sulphurous Spellcraft. The B side is the title track. And here's the J card with the title, the cover. I really like this part of the J card. I thought that was really a nice little artistic touch. Then on the inside, we got what is it? All songs and sorcery performed by I'm guessing Zolthis. Might be Zolthes. Not totally sure on that, but that's a pseudonym of our practitioner here. But yeah, I really like this. Again, really makes me think of that Xasthur style stuff. Another band to bring into that realm, which is really the only other band that I would really say fits that kind of particular black metal style that I really like, and that is Striborg. There's just something about there's just the atmosphere that they all have, just kind of really jarring and menacing. You know, razor wire guitars, you know, vocals that are really low in the mix and are just kind of like, in this particular case, he does a lot of kind of like really low subterranean growling kind of stuff, which I really like. because it's sort of different than what Zaster and Streborg both do. But yeah, the drums are just really kind of just like jarring. Again, yeah, just awesome stuff. It makes me harken back to the Zaster, and it really just scratches the itch that I need for more material, because as we all know, Zaster is no longer doing that style. They're doing more of like a neo-folk kind of sound stuff, which I only really listened to the first one that he put out, which is called Nocturnal Poisoning or something like that, but it was under, no, that was the name of the band. He's since taken and he's using the Zaster name with the neo-folk sound. Anyway, enough rambling about that. Let's get on to the second one, VVitchblood. It was funny, I actually didn't even notice until I got the cassette in that VVitchblood is spelled with 2 V's. I thought that was a nice little touch. Comes on this black tape with the alpha and the omega on it. Both of these put out through Amorphati Productions. This one is another one I can't, it's a symbol that I don't recognize. But this one also, the VVitchblood, is also out through, what is it, Les Fleurs de Mal. So yeah, anyway, nice looking black pro tape there, or whatever you want to say. Here's the inside of the J card. But yeah, this album, this is above and beyond on that. Also, before I get on to my praise, they did the same thing on this, and I really just like that touch. I think it's really cool. I hope that I would like to see more of that, or at least Bašmu continue that on. But anyway, let's get on with the praise. This album is by far easily my favorite release by Bašmu. This came out, I don't know, July, somewhere in the middle of the summer sometime. Great release. I really feel like he's really got the sound really down to a really how I want to say, he really is coming to his own. You know, those razor wire guitar riffs are just back. Everything, just the atmosphere is just like evil and menacing, and it's just wow. He's upgraded. He used a lot more. I won't say a lot more, but more kind of like synth or keyboard stuff, particularly in the track VVitchblood. I thought it was used well. It gives us a nice little foreshadowing for the album. Yeah, just I listened to this album like 2 or 3 times in a row. For the first time I put it on. Really impressed with this release. Definitely will be in my top 30. Yeah, just again, harkens me back to that Zaster, Streborg sound that just very kind of just like, you know, in your face, jarring, evil sounding, just torture prison, just awesomeness. Definitely, if you are into Zaster, Streborg kind of sound, and you have not looked into Bašmu, I highly recommend that you do that, because you will not be disappointed. Yeah, definitely VVitchblood is a fantastic album. They'll make my top 30. This is again, great album. Alright, next up, kind of intimated that I ordered this last collection update, and it has arrived, and that is the next one up in my Black Sabbath collection. That's Mob Rules. This is the second album to feature Ronnie James Dio on vocals. Bill Ward has since left us on the drums. I believe he was going through health conditions or some sort. I didn't really look into that, but I believe that is the reason. Tony Iommi, obviously, and Geezer Butler are still around. Kind of similar to how I feel about Heaven and Hell. This is good material. I like some of the songs. Nothing really like kind of like blows me away and hooks me in and makes me like love the material. But you know, there's some good songs in here. Like I really like the Sign of the Southern Cross and Mob Rules are probably my favorites from the release. I also really enjoy Voodoo, Country Girl, and Falling Off the Edge of the World. Those are also some pretty good stuff. But again, you know, nothing. I don't like love this album. It just, you know, it's just good. I'm not really sure if it's Dio, if that's the reason why or what, but I don't know. Good, but you know, it doesn't make me love Black Sabbath any more than I already did. Which I wouldn't say I love Black Sabbath. I would just say I strongly like them. But But as we all know, I'm just really going through their discography now. So what do I really know anyway? I've only listened to about maybe half of it now. So yeah, I got quite a way to go. So yeah, Mob Rules, Black Sabbath, pretty good, but you know, nothing that's super outstanding in my mind. All right, next up. Actually, I would like to say that the rest of the video is what I would like to call stuff that Pat made me buy. This is Pat from Ground Zero Salem. So yeah, next up is another one in the Black Sabbath discography, and that's a Born Again. This is the album that came out after Mob Rules, which I just showed, but came out before Seventh Star, which is the one I showed last week. This one, Billboard's back on drums. Ronnie James Dio is out on vocals. Ian Gillan from Deep Purple is on vocals on this one, and Tony, obviously, and Geezer Bradley are still around. Okay, so now that we've kind of discussed who's in the band, this album, yeah, it's pretty good. I like this one more than both of the Ronnie James Dio era stuff. I don't like this as much as Seventh Star, but it's pretty good. In particular, Zero the Hero is a freaking monster of a track. It is actually the, you know, I'd already bought Seventh Star at this time, but it was Pat showed it in the back. He had this album playing in the back of in the background, wow, of one of his videos, and the instrumental section in the middle of Zero the Hero just totally smashed me, and I was totally ignoring everything that Pat was saying, and I was just listening to awesome instrumental section, and I was just like, alright, I need to order that album immediately, so I did. But yeah, so pretty good. I enjoyed that song a lot, Zero the Hero. Like I said, I'd always heard the Cannibal Corpse version, which is on their, I think, the Hammer Smash Face single. You know, their version's good, but it didn't quite hook me in the same way that, you know, the original did. Obviously, I always listen to the track The Dark, which is the little instrumental ditty that comes before Zero the Hero. I kind of feel like those two songs belong together. I also really enjoy the song Disturbing the Priest. Trash is another strong one. Digital Bitch is okay. Hotline that makes me think of Ted Nugent or Cat Scratch Fever. So yeah, another one, an album. This is a pretty solid album. You know, somewhere in probably the middle of how I feel about Black Sabbath in terms of their discography. But yeah, nothing super crazy to talk about here because you probably have all listened to this album before. And yeah, I think this album cover rules. Actually, I think it's a good album cover. Didn't really show the inside of Mob Rules, but there really wasn't much. I thought it was kind of funny that they had like the pages like labeled like 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not really sure why that's something that they did. Little facts about the time period of what's going on. Yeah, I'm not sure why they numbered the pages, but they did. So yeah, I've been rambling too much about this album already, but again, Born Again, Black Sabbath, you know, just solid material. Glad to add to the collection, and yeah, I'm kind of you know, still energized to continue on in the Black Sabbath. I'm not sure what album came out after Seventh Star, but whatever it is, that's the next one up, and I'll be getting it at some point, and I'll be talking about it when I do. So yeah, Born Again, Black Sabbath. Alright, next up, another one again that I bought because of Pat. This is Root with their album, and I'm sure that I'm going to pronounce this wrong. It's Zjevení or Zjevení. I think it's probably with the Z sound, but I don't know. It's in Czech. This is a black metal band from the Czech Republic. This is an album he showed off in his 13, or I'm not sure what he called this video, but Stone Cold Black Metal Classics. And this was an album I wasn't familiar with at all, but obviously the album art immediately spoke to me, and so I was like, what is this? And you know, something Pat was recommending, and it was in his Black Metal Classics So I knew it was something that I needed to check out. So I paused the video, which is something that I often do, but it was something that I definitely did this time around. Paused the video, looked for the album, and was immediately sold. Bought the album either right then or by the time I finished watching the video. All of this is in Czech, so I can't even read it. But yeah, this is awesome, killer black metal. Big Boss's vocals are super cool. He kind of has like a gruff spoken word aspect to his vocals, which are really cool. I agree with Pat, the fact that it is in a language I do not understand, I'm sure is a positive. The riffs are just really hooky and catchy. I really think the drums are underrated, maybe. I don't know if they're underrated. I have no idea how people feel about this album, other than Pat loves it. But the drums are awesome. It's particularly the title track and Peace and Pro Satana off the top of my head. I know that the drums in those two particular songs are really simplistic and really catchy, and I think really do a really good job of making this album really enjoyable. Yeah, really happy to add this album to the collection, as I don't know if I would make my top 13 Stone Cold Black Metal Classics list now that I've heard it several times, but definitely a worthwhile album to check out. And yeah, Pat definitely didn't steer us wrong with this selection. It's really good. I need to check out some of their other material, though it sounds like at some point they kind of changed sounds to more of a epic-y sound, which I'm not really sure what that means, but it certainly sounds like people feel differently about it compared to this early era stuff. But regardless, this one, if you're into, I wouldn't even really say second wave black metal. This is more early wave stuff, like Hellhammer or early Bathory, Celtic Frost kind of stuff. Celtic Frost, whatever you want to say. This was like 1990, I think, is when this came out. So yeah, if you're into that era, that time period, definitely check this out. Definitely worth your time. Awesome stuff. So yeah, Root with, I'm going to go with Zjevení. Alright, last one up. And again, another one that, thanks Pat for making me buy, spending all my money, which, obviously I'm going to do anyway, so might as well get some good suggestions from an awesome guy with awesome taste. This is a Judge with Bringin' It Down. This is sort of, first, it's an album he mentioned in his subgenre wars video. I think it was like youthcore versus grindcore. Anyway, this is a band from the youth crew core sign, whatever that subgenre was called. That came out like 89. Yeah, definitely was an influence. Immediately I could tell from listening to it, because something about his album cover made me want to check it out. Again, a time that I paused it and went and listened to it, and yeah, immediately I could tell this was a band that was most likely an influence on Integrity, which if you've been watching me at all lately, you know that I've been listening to their stuff. And yeah, awesome, very similar sounding, super riffy, very just throaty, forceful vocals, done by our guy Mike Judge. After commenting to Pat that I thought this was awesome stuff, Jason Hook of Get Into It with Jason Hook, which if you're not watching, you should be, suggested I watch a 4-part documentary about them, which I did, and it made me really want to. Oh no! Now I remember. Yeah, I bought this right after I got done watching that 4-part documentary, and I bought it immediately. And I came in and was super impressed with this release. Yeah, just awesome stuff. Really enjoy the riffs. That's like with Integrity, that's what really is the main draw for me. Is it's just the really catchy headbanging riffs, and Judge with this release, Bringing It Down, do a great job of doing that. They give me those riffs. So yeah, if you're into hardcore stuff, don't listen to me. You should be listening to other people talk about hardcore. But if you are going to listen to me talk about hardcore, this is definitely an album that I suggest you check out, because if nothing else, it's seminal in terms of influencing future artists. But if you ignore that, it also just frickin' rips. I think it looks backwards to me, but I think it looks right to you. So yeah, Judge, bringing it down. Awesome, awesome hardcore. So yeah, that's all I got to show off. So actually, been meaning to show this off for a while, not show it off. A while ago, I ordered an Abbath Road t-shirt, and they sent me a woman's size. And long story short, lots of back and forth, and eventually I just got refunded and kept the product. But obviously, this is not going to fit me because it's a women's extra large. So I don't know if there's a whole lot of women watching my channel, but if there are, and you are an extra large, or you just want this shirt, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Or if you're a guy and you don't care about, it's got kind of it's a thinner material than a typical men's shirt, and the collar is a different style. But if you don't care, extra large is probably like a medium large size in a men's. Anyway, if anyone's interested in this, it's just going to lie around and I'm not going to wear it. So if you want it, let me know. Hit me up. I'll give it to you. Alright. That's all I got for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So again, happy Halloween to you all. It's only a couple days away. So watch out for ghouls and such. If you have black cat, keep it inside. So yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you're familiar with any of these releases, please let me know what you think of them. And yeah, have a good day.